The time is now 5 p.m. I call this meeting of the Granbury Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. The board will now adjourn into executive session pursuant to the following sections. 551.074, discussion of officers, employees, and personnel matters. 551.076, considering the deployment, specific occasions for, or implementation of security personnel or devices. The time is now 5:01. Well, good evening, folks. Thank you for being here this evening. We will now reconvene in open session by beginning with our invocation led by Mike Moore.
Will you please pray with me? Father God, we are just thankful for everybody here tonight. We're thankful for our teachers, our students, staff, and administration. Father God, we pray for wisdom, that we may make the best decisions for our beautiful district of Granbury ISD. Lord, we pray for a successful and safe graduation, and Lord, may these students have a safe, fulfilled summer. We ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. And for our pledges to the U.S. flag and the Texas flag will be led by the JROTC seniors. Please stand.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Kennedy Wells, and I'll be doing the pledges. Okay. Sorry. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Thank you so much. And from here, we will go into our achievement spotlights. And the first one, Mr. Jamie Robinson with the GHS valedictorian and salutatorian. We're doing things a little different this week. We'll see what y'all tell me what you think.
Good evening, everybody. So tonight is very special. We're closing up our 2024 my best high school year ever, because it's my first high school year ever as principal. So I can say it's the best and the worst, but really it's the best. So, and to start off, we get to celebrate our valedictorian and our salutatorian. So tonight, Abigail Stone is our valedictorian for this year, and Bailey James is our salutatorian. And we're so proud of them. They put in countless hours, and they're so involved with so many organizations, and just being great humans is probably the best part about it. I mean, they're always kind and cheerful, pleasant, and very serious but focused, but they get life, and it's wonderful to see that. So we're very proud of them. Let's give them a round of applause, please.
Mr. Robinson, where are they going to school?
Jamie, where are they going to school at? Oh, where are you going to school? Trinity University. Woo! Carleton State University. All right.
And do we have the parents of these two young ladies here? Oh, they're in the very back. Congratulations. You've done a fine job. All right, moving on. Cindy Leatherman and Tammy Bodine are going to introduce the GHS UIL Academics Regional Qualifiers.
Good evening. Granbury High School hosted the UIL Academic District Meet this year with 7 high schools competing. We had about 90 Granbury High School students who competed in various academic events, and 22 of those students qualified to go to the region competition in Lubbock at Texas Tech University. They qualified in, we had 1 Ready Writer, 1 journalism student, the entire spelling team, the science team, the accounting team, and the social studies team all qualified to go and compete in Lubbock, where they did very well. And our speech and debate students, we had about 5 speech and debate students that also qualified to go and compete in Lubbock. And I'm going to let the coaches come and introduce their students.
I know we have a lot, so I'll try to keep it short and sweet, which is a feat for me. I want to recognize my accounting students. I only have 2 here tonight, but I want to recognize all of them. Christy Torres, Everett Brown, Wyatt Green, and Taylor Dolly. My kiddos got 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 5th at district. We advanced to regionals, and we were 2nd runner-up, so I'm very proud of them. Thank you.
Good evening. The science team advanced to region this year, and the contest is comprised of 3 different disciplines: biology, chemistry, and physics. And the whole team earned a 2nd runner-up, that's 3rd place, and we had a top score chemistry who advanced to state, and I'm very proud of them. The team that advanced to region is Riley Morris, Lucas Hyde, Connor Babish, and Nolan Porter.
Hello, I had the privilege of coaching the spelling and vocabulary team. We swept at district. We came in first as a team, individually, 1st, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And we made a very, very good showing at region. My team is Alejandra Landa, Jocelyn Berry, Preston Kirkland, Mon Vigacia. And then I also have the privilege of helping with ready writing as well, and Anya Peters made 2nd at district and advanced to region as well.
Now I would like to introduce my social studies team. They placed 1st in district, individually 1st and 3rd in district. And then at region, we placed 3rd place as a team, or 2nd runner-up. And Quinn King placed 4th in region, which is only 1 spot away from advancing on to state, and I'm very proud of their efforts. Pooja Vithalpura, sorry, Pooja, Cameron Ward, Quinn King, and Alyssa Carter.
Let's bunch together and we'll get...
And while pictures are being taken, do we have any of the parents out there of these very good students? Thank you all so much.
Yep. Get them out. Way out.
All right, next up, we have Brian Thompson from Schottenkirk to give us our Senior of the Month.
Thank you for having me. The Schottenkirk Senior of the Month for the month of May is Jackson Robinson. So everybody give Jackson a hand.
Is he not here?
Jackson couldn't make it, but I wanted to list off some of his achievements because this is a pretty long list. He's had a pretty outstanding high school career. So Jackson was 4-time UCA All-American for 2020, 21, 22, and 23. 2-time Infinity Athletic First Team All-American, which is the top 20 scholastic cheerleaders in the country, 23 and 24. He's 2-time Texas Coaches Association All-State Team member for the last 2 years, 2-time Texas Coaches Association All-Star the last 2 years, Texas Coaches Association Academic All-State Team member for 2024, 2024 Cheer Sport Grand Nationals champion, 24 the Majors Cheerleading Invitational National champion, 4-time Granbury High School Cheer Versatility of Excellence Award, and 3-time UCA Pennant Forward recipient. Also varsity cheer captain for 22-24, and he'll be attending TCU this next school year and studying either nursing or marketing. So give it up for Jackson. Thank you, guys.
Sure, yes, okay. So we will accept on his behalf, because we love to accept money for scholarships, so. Thank you to Shot and Kurt for all your support this year. Thank you, thank you.
Okay, moving on. Lieutenant Colonel Scott Casey with the MCJROTC Top Award winners.
For the record, Ms. Oliver said I can't talk because I talk too much. So.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Cameron Wells, the almost former battalion commander of the MCJROTC Battalion. With me tonight is the second in command, Cadet Major Trinity Strife, our senior enlisted and PT team captain, Cadet Sergeant Major Hutchison, Alpha Company Commander, Cadet Captain Zernick, our Robotics and Cyber Patriot Team Captain, Cadet Captain Leyland, our Academic Team Captain, Cadet Staff Sergeant Kim. We also have a few of our replacements here with us tonight. We have the new Battalion Commander and Rifle Team Captain, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Kennedy Wells, and the new Battalion Executive Officer, Cadet Major Barber. I wish them luck in their command year. I would like to give my thanks to the school board for recognizing the battalion and all its accomplishments. I had the honor of speaking at a school board meeting back in September. To no surprise, this year was filled with many successes. Our academic team progressed to round 2 of their online competition. Our first Cyber Patriot team placed in the Platinum Division, while our second team placed gold at the state level competition. We had our robotics teams compete at nationals, with our A team placing 3rd overall. Our PT team has competed at local events, such as the McKinney Lions Meet and Lebanon Trails PT Meet, in which they placed 2nd overall at both meets. Additionally, this past Saturday, the team dug in at the Burnett Spartan Race and competed well. Our rifle team won Marine Corps and All-Service Championships for the 7th consecutive year. We had a podium sweep at Marine Corps Championships and 2 in finals at All-Service. Our season came to a close with us winning regionals, the Jack C. Hayes Buckle Challenge, and our Pirate Cup match. Overall, our cadets earned over $1.3 million in scholarships. Our current Sergeant Major will be attending the Naval Academy Preparatory School, and we have 4 seniors who will enlist in the military. Many will continue to pursue education at college, with 2 of us competing at Division I athletes for a rifle team. The illustrious reputation this program has earned comes from a ton of hard work from the instructors, cadets, and parents. To the parents and guardians, I thank you for your push, your unconditional support of your cadet. I would also like to thank the instructors who continue to push us to strive for excellence. It is impossible to run such a successful program without the guidance of these gentlemen, Lieutenant Colonel Casey and First Sergeant Rositas. Again, I would like to thank the school board for recognizing the many accomplishments of the program on behalf of the battalion. Semper Fi.
We are very blessed with what these 2 gentlemen have been able to do with these young people and the type of citizens they're making, and I just cannot thank them enough for all they do. And do we have any of the parents of these young men and ladies here today? Thank you very much. Thank you so much. All right, next up is Ms. Julia Pennell for the J.C. Campbell Memorial Day Essay Campus winners.
Do they not go up and get to shake your hand?
Not anymore.
Okay.
Not today.
We did not know that, so we'll adjust to your needs. First of all, we had 471. Wow. That's a lot of essays written. And so the young people you'll meet today are the 5 winners out of 471 entries. To make it time effective, We had a beautiful ceremony out at 5:30. I hope you take the opportunity to go out and look what Membrano School did and how they set up for the winners. It was wonderful. A part of that was Mitch Galvan, chief, that has for 8 years presented a $100 check to the all-district level winner, which you'll meet tonight, and also Faye Landum, who gave each winner a gift. Each winner was presented with a medallion, and each winner was presented with a big blue ribbon. So we're going to judge young people. We'll have you, so Faye, if you'll stand on this side, and Bob, if you'll stand on this side. So as I call out your name, they'll give you your certificate, and if you'll stand up here in front. Mariana Espinoza. She's from Bronner Elementary. Cambry Bonnie. She's from Acton Elementary. Graceland Barker is from Bacchus Elementary. Ellie Thorne is from Oakwoods Elementary. And our overall winner, district level winner, was Levi Cox. And again, I hope you have the opportunity, if y'all will move over a little bit like this, they can get a good shot of you together, and the parents always like to have your beautiful faces. So again, I hope you take the opportunity, members on the dais with the school board, to go out and see that beautiful display. And we thank you, young people, for taking the time to understand what Memorial Day. It was so vital to J.C. Campbell that the students understand what Memorial Day. Hot dogs are good, picnics are great, but knowing what Memorial Day means is really good. So I'm going to step around there with you so we can get a group shot.
And thank you to the Pinnells and to Faye Landum and all the others that worked to allow this to take place. 471 essays is a lot to read.
That is. I tell you, working with
JC would be very, very
Yes,
proud.
and working with Renee in that curriculum group, you could not ask for a more professional. If they say it's done at 8:03, it's done at 8:02. So thank you for allowing us to work with such a group.
Renee Jackson is an amazing person. You are correct. Thank you for mentioning her. Okay, moving on to Mr. Brian Garuthers and Mrs. Maggie Walton to talk about a heroic event.
All right, good evening, Dr. Glenn, Board of Trustees. It's an honor to be here tonight. Here with me is Director of Transportation, Brian Carruthers, and we're here to recognize 2 of our Granbury ISD employees. So last month on the way to a field trip, one of our Granbury ISD bus drivers noticed an unattended non-Granbury ISD toddler in the middle of the road. Our bus driver calmly responded, immediately stopped the bus, and with the help of AES teachers that were on board, ensured the toddler's safety while also contacting law enforcement. Our staff not only did a great job of responding to a potentially dangerous situation, but they also took great care of the students that were on our bus. We want to praise our bus driver and teachers for their heroic efforts and being alert to keep the toddler and our students safe. And they did make it to the field trip at the Fort Worth Zoo on time, which was also a great plus. So here with us tonight is bus driver Kimberly Biscardi and Acton Elementary kindergarten teacher Brooke Pylant. So thank you both for all you do to keep our Granbury ISD students safe. If y'all will join us in congratulating them and thanking them.
Thank you so much for bringing that to everyone's attention. All right, next up, Coach Becky Addison with the GHS Gulf Regional Qualifiers.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you all for having us tonight. The first 5 that I'm going to introduce are the regional golf qualifiers, and I'll go through starting with our freshman, Claire Jordan. Then we have sophomore, Ariel Jimenez. Junior, Grace Jimenez. Junior, Hallie Carr. And senior, Akaya Ditto. This was Akaya's 4th straight appearance at the regional tournament, so she made it there her entire career. And Hallie, Grace, Ariel, this was their 2nd time for regionals, and then, of course, Claire's first because she is a freshman. But I expect her to be there the next 4 years as well. All right, the next ones I'm going to introduce are my seniors, and all 4 of these girls made academic all-state for the Texas Girls Coaches Association and the Texas High School Coaches Association, and they all have at least a 94 grade average or above, and most of them are above. And all 4 will be attending college. I've given Akaya her certificate, but she'll be attending Oklahoma State. Reagan Neal will be attending TCU. Riley Lewis will be going to Texas State. And Emily McGuire is going to the University of Arkansas. Thank y'all.
And do we have any parents in the audience for these young ladies? There you go. You can see for the number of students that we're honoring, we just couldn't put them all in here and have any of you in the room. Okay, we're moving on now to Coach Katie Leffler with the GHS Softball Academic All-State. Ah, she's back.
Hi, I'm Katie Leffler. I am the head softball coach here at Granbury, and I'm just here to talk about, I have 3 softball players, seniors. One of them couldn't be here tonight, but y'all already met Abby Stone. She got first in her class, and then Allison Defoe got 8th in her class, and Brenna got 12th. So all 3 of my softball seniors made top 25, which I think is very impressive because we were in season for 110 days. So to focus on athletics and academics is huge. So I'm really proud of them. And so they also made THSCA All-State and TGCA All-State. So good job, ladies.
Great. Any parents in the audience? There we go. Hey, John. All right, next we have coaches Amber, it's no longer Ward, and Jody Brown. Amber Adams, I knew it. They just didn't write it right.
Hello, I'm Amber Adams, the girls' head track coach. We have some of our assistants here as well also, Coach Shahan and Coach Overton and Coach Hauser, and then Coach Brown will be talking about the boys. We're highlighting our regional qualifiers. Our first one was Kate Hamlin. Kate placed 4th in the 100-meter hurdles at the area track meet to qualify for regional. She ended up 13th overall. She's only a junior, so we're really excited about her senior year. The experience that you gain at the regional track meet is like no other. It's very nerve-wracking. The coaches cannot be on the infield. We have to be up in the bleachers. They have a warm-up area outside the track, and the kids have to be led onto the field. So this was Kate's first time, and so her senior year, we're really excited about her doing an awesome job next year. Coach Hauser was our hurdle coach for the girls and boys, so he deserves all the coaching credit for Kate. Great job, Kate. Then we've got Ella Garner. Ella is a senior. Kind of a backstory on Ella. She started our sprint relay. She also ran the 300 hurdles. And then last year she came up and said, "Hey, Coach, I want to throw the shot put." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Ella, you can try it, but I don't really think that that's for you. You're not built like a shot putter, but go ahead and give it a shot." So she went down there with Coach Albro, our throwing coach, and did an amazing job. She qualified for area last year. This year, she got second at the area meet to qualify for regional, ended up 13th overall at regional, but did an awesome job as a shot putter. She is a senior, so we will miss her, but great job, Ella.
All right, I promised Ryan we'd keep this really going fast here, so I'm going to speed through this and get these guys out of here. I'm Jody Brown. I'm the head boys track and field coach. We had 8 regional qualifiers this year in 5 events, 1 state qualifier, and we broke 4 school records this year. The first one, Jackson Glenn, regional qualifier in the 3200, and he broke the school record 3200 with a time of 9:44.16. Jackson Glenn. Our next one is Miller Shinnewark. He was a regional qualifier in the high jump. He was a state qualifier last year, and Miller, he had a bad back at the regional meet, and if that thing wasn't bothering him so bad, I promise he'd have been at the state meet, so he's just a sophomore, so he'll get back down there. Miller Shinnewark. Okay, next one here, our 4x1 was a regional qualifier. We broke the school record 4 different times throughout the year with our best time of 41.65. That is Caleb Johnson, Elijah Johnson, Michael Grant, and Jaden Rogers. The 4x2 relay, some of the same guys, they broke the school record 3 different times during the year with a final time of 1:28.58. It's those same guys, Caleb, Jaden, Elijah, and Caden Davis was on the 4x2. All right, the last guy I'm going to talk about is Elijah Johnson. He was a district champion, area champion, regional champion, and he was a bronze medalist at the state track meet in the 200 meters. He broke or tied our school record 4 different times this year, with his best time being at the state meet with a 21.22, and then him getting on the podium and getting a bronze medal at the state track meet in the 200, Elijah Johnson. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
And do we have any parents in the audience of these young people? All right, and the last of our achievement spotlights is something I have been looking forward to. We have Carissa Glenn and Randy McFat from Mambrino Elementary School to talk about the Mambrino newspaper students. Oops.
Good evening, Dr. Glenn and board members. We are excited to announce that our 5th graders who are leaving us on Thursday have spent the better part of the year learning how to be editors, publishers, and newspaper interviewers, how to write articles and take pictures, and they are showing their 5th gradeness right now. Today they got to tour Hood County News, and they got to see the senior printing being printed for Decatur today, because we also learned that Hood County News not only prints for Hood County, but they also print for several surrounding towns as well. It has been our honor to watch these 4 grow this year. They have basically done this on their own, under slight guidance from Mrs. Glenn and myself. Mrs. Glenn could not be here tonight. She is at kindergarten graduation.
at Mambrino. But this is our last edition, so it's a little silly and fun. They have learned how to keep up with current events. You'll notice there is an awesome article about breakdancing at the Olympics this summer in there too. So I want to congratulate Joe Boyd, Emery McFate, Finn O'Carroll, and Lily Ross on their year as our newspaper team.
So, do we have any parents of these rambunctious for? They passed out newspapers to us up here. Emmett, were there any left over? Can we put those at the back so if anyone else would like to see them? They are really great. Thank you all so much for bringing us the copies. You going next or am I going next? Okay. I'll let those that are wanting to leave go ahead and do so, and people can move around so if they like to sit down. All right, being the end of the school year, I wanted to make some comments. As we wind down our season of celebrations, our governor continues to put politics above the good of our communities. While he continues to belittle public education, here is what I have witnessed in the past 2 weeks at Granbury ISD. At our employee awards banquet, 10 principals honored their campus teachers and paraprofessionals of the year for their impact on their students and their colleagues, culminating with our Granbury ISD secondary and elementary teachers of the year. I'm reminded of the fact that our secondary teacher of the year for the past 2 years has subsequently been honored as District 11 secondary teacher of the year. We honored 25 of the top graduating seniors in our district, and each of them chose an educator to be honored with them. In describing their honored educator, all of the students spoke about the relationships forged, the many ways these educators went above and beyond to help these students through their educational journey and their lifetime journey. During Senior Awards Night, our seniors were awarded a total of over $10 million in scholarships. 3 of our seniors were accepted to military academies, 2 to the Air Force Academy and 1 to the Naval Academy. Public education in Granbury ISD inspires excellence through thousands of relationships. The governor can withhold funds and critique public education. He can spread falsehoods and outright lies about public education. He cannot break our spirit. He cannot diminish the greatness shown by our educators. He cannot take away the positive impact they have made on so many lives. He cannot erase all the amazing accomplishments of our students, whom we honored tonight and at every board meeting this school year. We are about to go through a very difficult budget season. Unlike a great number of districts across the state, Granbury ISD will continue to have a balanced budget because of the financial acumen of our administration and our board of trustees. At Granbury ISD, we will continue to thrive because of the relationships built, the dedication of each of our educators, the expertise of our administration, and the accomplishments of each of our students, regardless of the governors and of our state and local politicians' failure to lead. Thank you. And we will now move on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam President, and well said. Appreciate the comments about our teachers. We do have a great staff here. If you had the opportunity last week, it was amazing. We had awards night on Thursday, and just cannot say enough about how this community comes together to put their money where their mouth is and provide scholarships and opportunities for the kids at Granbury High School. And as our president said, all in all, over $10 million in scholarships awarded. Now, a lot of those, it's kids receiving multiple scholarships, and of course, it always helps when you have 3 kids going to a military academy, but couldn't be more proud of that. From there, we had a spring football game, and our new head football coach, Bobby Allison, was out, but he will tell you without the parents in his booster club helping out, our cheer team being on the field, it really made for a special evening. Not every school plays spring football. Sometimes districts opt to have an extra week or two of two-a-days, and Coach Allison, as a new coach coming in, wanted the opportunity for our kids in our community to see what he has in store for them in the fall, and it was a fabulous night. We followed that up on Saturday with Lemonade Day, and so shout out to the businesses and Chamber of Commerce. Brian Bondi, the president of the Chamber of Commerce, helping coordinate Lemonade Day. I think 100 fifth graders participated, had stands all over town. I drank my fill of lemonade, and I know a lot of you did too. And we look forward to getting the final business reports and plans back from those fifth graders, so we not only know how much they made, but how much their donations and their causes will be helped by Lemonade Day. And then finally, I want to thank Mark Forrest, who's a pastor at Lakeside Baptist Church. He delivered the message at the baccalaureate service on Sunday. And, as we talk a lot about the end of the year and graduation, but as we wind down, I will tell you there are so many really awesome end-of-year events, and baccalaureate is one that is always special, and we appreciate everybody involved, but particularly Mark for really a dynamic message yesterday afternoon. We will be planning for 2 awesome graduations. Stars will graduate 33 students on Thursday night, and then on Friday night, we are looking forward to some great weather, and Jamie Robinson is going to lead us through an outstanding graduation, his first as principal at Granbury High School. We hope that you'll be able to either watch it or stream online, because there is something just super special about graduation there at Pirate Stadium. As the administrative team and the teachers look toward the summer, there are some good things going on. One, teacher turnover was extremely high across the state of Texas post-COVID. We are starting to see those rates come down. And whether that is because the VATRE passed and we got our salaries up and we're more competitive now, or it's just people settling in and saying, you know what, the grass isn't always greener on the other side, it's greener where you water it. I don't know what the reason is, but I'm going to say that it's because we have a great place to work here and we have great kids. And so we're seeing less and less turnover, and more people apply for positions in the district. So shout out to Wes Jones, he and his HR team do a phenomenal job. Also, as we get into budget planning, Emmett has been working with his team since probably early March, February, to make sure that as we get into the planning season and get ready to adopt our tax rate and our budget in August, that not only do we have the lowest tax rate in Hood County, that we also have a balanced budget. And if you have had the opportunity to read news articles across the state, there's a lot of districts struggling right now to balance their budgets. There's teachers getting laid off across the state, and that is not a problem for us in Granbury ISD. It's because we have great stewardship and conservative leadership, not only from our trustees, but also Emmett Whitefield in the business office. STAR testing. We've wrapped up STAR testing. I see Stacy Brown, Carla Wilmoth in the back. If it goes without saying, if we are about student outcomes, the measure that the state gives us is how do we perform on STAR. And when we look at our results from last year, we outperform the state and the region. And that's a credit to every teacher we have in this district, every paraprofessional we have in this district, but also the great leadership we have in our curriculum department. And then finally, something that has been on everybody's mind since Uvalde happened is the safety of our kids and our staff. And I'm proud to say that tonight we will report on the last security audit. All of our 10 campuses were inspected, had intruder audits, and we received a perfect rating for the second year in a row. All campuses checking the box, and that shout out goes to Chief Clark and every one of his marshals, along with our campus principals. It's a combination effort, and we're grateful for all they do. Madam President, we have a lot to be proud of. It's been a great year. We look forward to wrapping it up on Friday night.
Thank you very much, Dr. Glenn. All right, from here we will move on into public comments, and we had 5 individuals sign up, and I've read the public comment sheet before. I'm not going to read it again, but I do want to let you know that our next non-agenda town hall, if you will, is going to be Monday, August 26th. And one of the things that came up with our last one is that we had it at 5 o'clock, and that was too early. So we will be moving that to 6 p.m. on Monday, August 26th. So, but let's get on into the public comments for agenda items. And the first person up is Miriam Ramirez Stone.
Hi guys, thank you for your time. My name is Miriam Ramirez Stone. I am a bit of a nervous speaker, so I apologize.
Talk a little closer to the microphone.
Ryan, would you adjust that microphone, please?
Is that better? Y'all can hear me? Okay, sorry. My name is Miriam Ramirez Stone. I am a graduate from Stars Accelerated High School and a former student in Forward Training's Powered for Life. Today I'm here to talk about my experience in forward training and how they've helped me. I first moved to Texas Christmas Eve of 2023. I moved out of my mom's house and I was a little lost, and I just knew I wanted to graduate and STARS would help me get there. When I got into STARS, they introduced me to a class called Forward Training's Powered for Life, which is a class that helped me talk about past things I've been through, obstacles, and how to overcome them. Kind of understanding my next step, where I want to go after high school. My teacher was constantly checking in on me, asking me how I was doing, seeing how things were outside of school, and always trying to find ways and opportunities to further my education and get me started in a career path. He understood that I wasn't as confident to go up and speak to some of these people that I would try to apply at jobs for. And he's had many people come into our class to talk with us, many important people in the city, like the mayor or people on the city council. We've been invited to city council meetings, which have been pretty awesome. We've been able to talk with people like the mayor personally, one-on-one, and understand more of how the community works, which has been a really awesome experience, especially for someone like me who doesn't get a chance like this every day. Powered for Life, for me, has been a helping hand. They've been a smiling face in the crowd when you don't have many people showing up for you. They've helped me find direction in my life and meet my new boss, where I've been working as a chef at Restaurant Anise for about a month now, learning amazing techniques and new recipes. It's been an amazing experience, and Forward Training has inspired me to, first of all, want to help their cause and help other students like me have these amazing opportunities and meet these people that I have. I personally want to open my own nonprofit in the future, and that is my end goal. But right now, I am about to start at Tarrant County Community College. I'm going for business. And yeah, thank you for your time. I just hope that Forward Training is able to help more students like me, because it has been an amazing experience and they've always been there supporting me when I needed it. Thank you for your time.
Next up, we have Amy Forrest.
I was hoping the coach would go first, the football coach, but I'll go first. Good evening to the Board of Trustees, parents, teachers, and staff, and all of the Granbury community. I want to introduce myself. My name is Amy Forrest. I am a mother of 3 kids who are currently at the GISD school system, in the GISD school system. I have a daughter graduating this year. I have a son that's a junior, and my third is going into GMS, and all of them have been in multiple programs and different clubs throughout their time here in the community, or in school. One of the things I've noticed in the 7 years that we've lived here is, and as a band mom specifically, is the amount of fundraisers that we have to do for our children, and that our children have to do. Something that you might not know if you haven't ever been in band is the first half of the school year is increasingly intense. Often they're going to school and then doing band rehearsals up to 12 hours in that day. And one of the challenges that we're focusing on right now is trying to buy a new trailer. So talking about fundraising and how we can get the money for a trailer that's the minimum is going to be a $75,000 amount, along with adding all of the expenses that we have to pay, gas, U-Hauls, everything else that goes along when we go to away games and we go to competitions. That is very overwhelming to think about. And one of the things that we do is selling chocolates. So I kind of made that as my analogy. How many boxes of chocolates would we have to sell in order to get $75,000? It's 2,500 boxes because half of it goes back to the company who's doing that. So another thing is that I want to add is that I am not a native Texan. I got here as fast as I could, but I did not grow up here. My family lives in California, Minnesota, Utah, Nevada, Oregon. We're spread out. Those are my immediate family members. But I have cousins who all want to be able to support my children. And they are unable to because anytime they say, just send me a link, send me this, send me that, so I can just give you some money. I don't want chocolate. I don't want popcorn. I don't want wrapping paper. But which are all great fundraisers, don't get me wrong, but I just want to make sure that most of my money is going towards the kids. And every year, what? 5 seconds. Oh, and every year I have to tell them no, because, so really what this is about is crowdsourcing. Dang it. This is my first time. I'm sorry.
I believe you made your point.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. All right. Oh, didn't get this one to you yet. I'm sorry. All right. Next up, we have Monica Brown.
Good evening. One of the things I got involved in when I first got here with Legacy Christian Academy, a homeschool co-op, besides a robotic program which brought me in direct contact with independent school districts, was forward training. My children were the prototype or first class of forward training. Jobs for Life. So I just want to take a minute. I do have a few red flags based on our last board meeting that I want to identify, and then I want to just talk about the best things that I know about of that program, because I'm hoping it ends up being one city and county-wide. It's that amazing and that good of a program. But my first red flag has to do with last board meeting. Karen Lowry was speaking about documents being signed before the board approved them by the superintendent. So I don't understand why that happened, but it's a red flag related to forward training. The second was the chairman of the board of forward training was recently arrested. And not to bring that up too much, except that Karen Lowry also brought up safety and security of the individuals involved in these programs. Now, my interaction with forward training has been above board. It's been beautiful people. I have no concerns whatsoever. But the idea of there not being adequate knowledge or background checks or some kind of nefarious relationship where someone steals no bond signs, I don't understand that kind of mentality. So it's just a red flag, and it goes to jail for it, and that's leadership from that organization. The third one was Karen and I, we had security concerns for events like this, and I recognize you have great security during the day, you've gotten great rewards. You also have it for events at night, but not all these events. Not things like this. And at the time, last time, the statement was made by administration that we don't need security. We're okay. And I think that we really should think that through and make certain that we have staff dedicated to that. So that's my 3 concerns. And then I don't know if the public really understands what this program is all about, but it's for really any student. Any student, if they're not getting a career assessment or career preparation, that program is amazing. It's just a few weeks. It's an effective program. Please consider opening it up for all students. My own homeschool students were used as a test group, as I said before. They all contributed $25 to get their book, so no one bought it for them, but I'm happy to see it bought for students. They learned resume writing, career assessment, basic computer skills, goal setting, problem solving. They had interviews, like the young lady said, where people in the community came in and sat down and gave them one after the other mock interviews. Outstanding, well done, and an amazing curriculum. And I really encourage us as a community to get behind this for, like I said, all students. And I mean public school, private school, Christian school, all of them. It's that good, and I want to be behind it, but I also want to notice the red flags and maybe address them and do something about it.
Thank you, Tammy.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
You should.
And the next person is Lisa McDermott.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to speak today about board transparency with some of the agenda items. So I reviewed the agenda and supporting documents that were put online. However, some crucial information was missing and I was left with questions. So regarding the onward learning, the memo mentioned needing a new Medicaid claims processing service. It mentions current and previous companies and proposed services offered by Onward. My questions: the cost with Onward is $50,000, but what were the costs of the previous contracts? How does this price compare to those? What service did the other companies offer in comparison to Onward, besides the $50,000 contract? Are there any other potential or expected costs? What is the auto renewal cost? If the first year is $50,000, does the cost go up or down for subsequent years? Is there a multi-year contract discount? What, if any, other companies were reviewed, and what were their services and costs? Regarding budget amendments, the memo stated, attached are the monthly general fund budget amendments for board approval. However, there were no budget items included in the agenda for the public to review. My question, why? Regarding on-premise backup solutions, the memo states that the vendors were asked to provide proposals. However, those proposals were not included in the agenda for the public to review. My question again, why? Regarding child nutrition report, so this I first want to say that I really commend the department. So I'm a registered dietitian, so nutrition is kind of my area of passion and expertise. And so I want to commend them for sourcing local. They also said that they had added some additional fruits and vegetables, so I do want to commend them for that. Student nutrition has an impact on student health and health long-term. So I encourage you to keep up with that effort, including more local, fresh, and nutritious foods. And then also the report stated that the revenue loss was $427,104. It also stated that GISD cannot support that loss again next year. And so, as funding was reduced, my questions: will the proposed plan prevent a revenue loss next year? Will there be any changes to food or ingredient quality as a result? Is the number of students on free or reduced breakfast and lunches expected to increase, decrease, or remain the same next year? And these were just some of the questions that I have, because for time's sake, I can't go through all of them. So it has been recommended to the board to approve many of the items listed in the agenda. The public did not have access to many of these items referenced in the memos that the board will be voting on, hence my questions. For example, the DNA legal document was included, but general fund budget amendments and vendor proposals were not. Why? How does the public know the board is making the best decision without any information or transparency? It is the ethical duty of board members to uphold trustworthiness and integrity, neither of which can occur without accountability to the public. If there is a lack of transparency, real or perceived, it is difficult for the public to support the board and district efforts. So my ask is just that more information be available to the public so that we can all review everything that the board is being asked to vote on. Thank you.
Thank you. And our last commentor of the night is Mr. Jim Jarrett.
Thank you, Madam President, trustees, Dr. Glenn. I did not know about the fifth grade newspaper group that would be here, but I think that's outstanding because I want to comment on the article that Mr. Sam Houston had in the recent Saturday newspaper. He talked about teachers. He talked about the extraordinary efforts that they make to connect with the children, the students. He said they were trying to influence them to become the best version of themselves, and the impact reaches much further than English and arithmetic. I want to expand on what the STAR student said. The STAR student get it. They want to reach their potential. They want to become the best person they can. They recognize that it isn't just English and math. And they recognize all of these things, but they want it quicker. They want it more in depth, and they want to understand the subtleties as well as the overview. And they want it now. So they choose to enroll in the STAR program. And the STAR program is a non-credit course managed by Forward Training, led by volunteers who expand on the base built by the GISD teachers. And because of all of those things, I urge you to expand that program. It works, it's a great program, and I encourage you to utilize it to its fullest. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we will now move on to our consent agenda items. Board, are there any that you want to pull out for discussion? Oh, did I miss something? Oh, I'm sorry. I miss that so often. Action items discussed in closed session. Consider staff recommendations. Dr. Glenn.
Thank you, Madam President, and let me start by, again, thanking Wes Jones and his team for putting this together. You have before you the personnel recommendation report along with staff resignations for the month. It is our approval that you approve as presented. I would like to point out specifically Cody Haddock, who is in the audience tonight. He is the recommendation of Mr. Jamie Robinson and his team to be our next band director for Granbury High School. Cody is joining us from Grapevine, Colleyville, and has 9 years of experience. And Cody, welcome to the Pride of Granbury. In a minute, after the board votes.
In a minute, yeah. So, do I hear a motion?
Madam President, I move that we accept the staff recommendations as presented.
Thank you, Ms. Gore. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. All those in favor, please raise your hand. And that is unanimous. Thank you. And I'm sorry that I always miss that. I will do better next time. Now we're going to the consent agenda items. Are there any that want to be pulled out?
Madam President, I'd like to pull out item 10H, budget amendment items to recognize donations from the community.
Are there any other items to be pulled out tonight?
President, I'd like to pull the one that has to do with
What are you looking for?
the staff duty days, staff business days.
Okay, that's K, 10K. Are there any others? All right, so let's go ahead and tell me what you want, Ms. Gore, on number 10H, consider budget amendments.
Madam President, I'd like to recognize the donations we've received from our community this last month. We've received donations from United Way of Hood County to the GHS Culinary Department Campus Activity Account for a catering event in the amount of $1,000. We've received donation from Granbury Rehab and Nursing to the GHS Culinary Department Campus Activity Account to offset expenses in the amount of $1,000. We've also received a donation from Alexis Carpenter to the GHS Ag Department to supplement expenditures for a competition, and I can't read what that competition was, so I apologize, it's cut off on here. But that was in the amount of $500. We received a donation from the Daughters of the American Revolution to the MCJROTC Student Activity Account to support the program in the amount of $1,969.92. A donation from Taco Casa to the GHS Robotics Student Activity Account for the purple sponsorship level of $500. A donation from the Granbury Optimist Club to the GHS Junior Optimist Club Student Activity Account to supply the athletic freezer in the amount of $360, and a donation from Carol Pendergrass to the GHS Autotech Campus Activity Account to supplement expenditures in the program in the amount of $211.85 for a total amount of donations from the community in the amount of $5,541.77. Thank you to all of our donors.
Mr. Wimberly, 10K, what did you want to say?
10K on the board book, it was sent out in error for the number of days that are holidays or considered business days. And under the revised pages that we got, it swapped December 31st, which is an error, as a day off, was left out, and January the 7th was considered a day on, and those days were swapped. So December 31st is now considered a non-business day, and January 7th will be a business day going forward. That's just a difference in what we got in our original board book.
So that will be an amendment to what's in the board book as of now.
Correct.
Okay.
We all have a copy of the amended version.
So you'll be approving the amended version?
Yes. All right. So you have heard what needed to be said about the consent agenda items. Do I have a motion?
Madam President, I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented, along with the corrections presented by Mr. Wimberly.
Very good. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Gore. All those in favor, please raise your hand. And that is unanimous. Okay, moving on now to discussion and action. First up, Coach Lamont Moore. Consider approval allowing district programs to use crowdsourced fundraising.
Thank you, Madam President and trustees, for allowing me to talk about this. Considering allowing the use of crowdsourcing, current PTO boosted club guidelines prohibit crowdsourcing by district activity groups and extracurricular programs, limiting fundraising options. I'm aware the reason why it was not prohibited was because past board members, staff, and parents were bombarded with emails, texts about donating. I believed in this case, we will set guidelines and parameters that would not allow that to happen in the future. I think it was misused, it was overused, and those parameters and guidelines will not allow that moving forward. At one point, also I want to make everyone know that our district are meeting our needs of our students, of all programs. This is not what this is about. This is for extra things. This is for going above and beyond, like you heard the young woman talk about earlier. That's what that's about. Lastly, our PTA booster clubs receive annual training on district guidelines and are held accountable through centralized fundraising permission request process and financial transparency requirements. So our PTOs and booster clubs will be trained make sure we have total transparency with the funds that are being received. So it is recommended that Granbury ISD allow the use of crowdsourcing by district activity groups and extracurricular programs.
Thank you, Coach. Just a little background on this. A few years ago, we did do away with crowdsourcing, and for a couple of reasons. One, I don't think organizations were clear with families and parents on why it was being done.
Right.
And so there was information being put out that wasn't necessarily factual as it related to why parents and families should donate. And then two was the bombardment of emails, receiving, an email every week until you donate. And, and so it became excessive. So I know we had a conversation earlier about making sure parameters were in place. And also that families who were donating knew exactly what they were donating to. And as was mentioned in open forum, I do think there are a lot of families out of state that don't need the transactional relationship of a tub of cookie dough for the money they're donating, especially when 50% of that's going to go to the cookie dough place and not to our kids.
Exactly.
Probably the biggest reason that I can give you, trustees, is something that Coach Moore has been intentional about since his arrival in Granbury, has taken our athletic program cashless to make sure that again, the safety of all funds are secure, and the money that is spent by parents or families or community in any program goes to exactly where it's supposed to go. And so not putting our children in the position where they have to handle a lot of cash, or coaches in the position where they have to handle a lot of cash and secure that cash. Ultimately, it provides a safer environment for fundraising. And so for those reasons, we would ask that you reconsider reversing that policy and allowing our programs to use crowdsourcing. And for those of you in the audience who don't know what crowdsourcing is, essentially it's an email that goes out that gives you the option to donate back to the program. And so, for example, I have a son that runs track. It would not be uncommon for him is a track runner for an email to come from the track account with his name on it that says, hey, Jackson Glenn is running track. They're trying to raise money to run in a meet that requires an overnight stay, and would you be willing to donate to help support that? And it just gives you a quick link where you can donate $1 or $10 or $100 or whatever you want to do. And so I think a lot of those parameters, as long as those procedures are in place, which I believe Coach Moore will put in place, you can feel confident that the district will be good stewards of it.
Do I have a motion?
Madam President, I
Motion
move,
first, then we talk. That was what the last email we got. Go ahead.
Madam President, I move that we approve allowing the district programs to use crowdsourced fundraising.
And do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, now, discussion.
I just have a couple of questions. Are we aware of the tax laws that go along with crowdsourcing?
Absolutely.
Okay, and so how do we plan to remain in compliance for the income reporting? Do we have something set up for that?
There will be, like I said, once we get it set. So, go ahead.
Yeah, Emmett, I can see you turning your microphone on.
PTOs and booster clubs are required to be a 501c3, and they do file a 990, I believe is the form that they file, and that is reporting their income.
So the PTOs will be in charge of documenting all of this?
Yes, ma'am. They are considered a 501c3. We require PTOs. We require booster clubs to be a 501c3, and we strongly encourage our PTOs to be a 501c3.
Okay. Will the crowdsourcing affect any other funding that we receive?
As far as fundraisers?
Yeah, anything else?
No.
Does it affect anything else?
No, you still can do the other ones. We just want to have this option to do the crowdsourcing just with the online giving.
And our PTO groups and booster clubs are limited to the amount of fundraisers they can do.
Okay, and so they're going to be made aware with their training too of the state and federal law or policies that deal with the crowdsourcing, the PTOs will be?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What happens if there's an amount that's donated over what you need? Are there any laws about overage? And how is that handled?
There's no laws against it going over the goal. That's actually, we feel like a bonus. We just got to make sure, like I said, once we have those guidelines and set the meetings with the PTO and boosters about what we require, that total transparency about how much they made is given over.
Okay, and then I know that they can use an app as well, but does the app accommodate for those who donate anonymously, and are you allowed to donate anonymously?
Absolutely. You
Okay.
can donate. Yep.
And so the app, okay, and if there was a problem, would the GISD's attorney sign off on any legal implications that could be associated with crowdsourcing?
Can you be more specific on the issue?
If there were just some kind of issue, I mean, something that came up, would they be able to sign off on that? Who would take responsibility if something was not done correctly?
Yeah, so typically when you're talking about booster clubs, if something wasn't done correctly, it would fall back on the booster club.
They're an independent source outside of the district.
Okay.
Yeah, we do provide a training, at least once a year.
We do it at 3 different times. We do it in the morning, we do it in the evening, and then we do it in the middle of the day, so we can hit all 3 groups of people.
And we give them all the state guidelines. We inform them what their responsibilities are, but ultimately they take ownership of that.
Yes, sir.
And don't they also have their own insurance?
Yes, they're required to have their own insurance. And we strongly encourage them to get insurance for their board members to protect them as well.
Will you be handling, okay, so you're coming and asking about crowdsourcing, but you won't be the one that's going to be in charge of athletic crowdsourcing, fine arts crowdsourcing?
No. We're just giving them the option.
You're just giving them the option?
PTO and booster clubs, each individual booster clubs are going to be in charge of.
You just got to be the spokesman.
That's right.
I understand. Any other questions?
I'd just like to make a comment. I've had the opportunity with having 4 kids in the district. My oldest son, who's already graduated, when he was in band, the district allowed the boosters to crowdsource. And since that option was taken away, it's greatly affected the clubs or the organization's ability to raise funds. So the amount that those organizations were able to do for the students above and beyond what the district does was greatly impeded. And I've seen the effects of that firsthand. So I know that with the new parameters that they're going to put in place, I believe it's going to be used judiciously, and our students only are going to gain from this, and it's going to benefit them ultimately in the long run.
I do hope that we are able to. I was one of the people that was ready to get rid of it, because every time the band would have a crowdsourcing, I would end up getting 25 to 50 emails from different students once a week until I finally had to get a hold of each one of them saying, stop. So we can't go back to doing it that way.
Absolutely, I agree. When I heard that, I was like, wow, I never seen that actually. So it's supposed to be, each kid's supposed to contact their contacts, not anything outside of that. So that's all I've been a part of, is the kids are reaching out to their contacts, the people they know. So that was abused. I feel like that was abused, getting to you and
Well,
getting.
they felt like they knew me, so.
Yeah, it felt like you had a little money.
Madam President, may I speak? Yes. There's a safety issue that goes along with this as well, and our kids going door to door or putting them out there in the community to raise funds is always an issue that we need to look at. Also, with them handling money, it really puts them in an awkward position, making sure that they keep up with that money and their kids. And we're talking about it all the way from pre-K on that, could be involved in these fundraisers. So even just as far as security measure, this is an excellent idea and keeps our kids off the streets and asking for money.
Okay, we have a motion and we have a second. Are we ready to vote? Those in favor, please raise your hand. Those opposed? All right, it passes 6-1, and Ms. Graft, is the nay. And we move on. Thank you very much. Consider approval of the purchase of silent panic alarm systems, SPAT, from Mr. Wade Clark.
Thank you, Madam President, Board of Trustees, Dr. Glenn. So SPAT, or Silent Panic Alarm technology, this is a requirement from the state of Texas. Every school district has to have this system in place. It's the ability for a teacher from any classroom to call first responders and announce that they have an emergency, like a lockdown. And so when this first came out, almost 2 years ago now, we started researching what were our options. A lot of people were using a program called Raptor. Raptor was an app-based program, which we were already, they were already a vendor of ours, and we use them and have used them for many years for visitor management. That's when you come in and they Raptor your ID and give you your sticker. And so we were familiar with the company. We already had a rep, and we talked to them. It was a fairly affordable option, and a lot of people were using that option. So we went that route very early on, the beginning of last school year, and everybody was happy. Before we went that way, I called and talked to TEA, I called and talked to the state. Everybody said 100% this is the deal, or this check, meets all the criteria. Then at the start of this school year, they moved the goalpost, the state of Texas did, and said that if it still meets all the criteria as long as it's not on a personally owned device. I imagine that's because they had some pushback, some people that probably didn't want to put an app on their personally owned device. And so they said, you can still use Raptor as your option if you will provide all your employees with a personally owned device, which is cost prohibitive. So the search began for what now meets the criteria and does all those things and is a good product. So we talked to a lot of schools, we visited with a lot of schools. John and I got in the car and drove to some schools to see some systems in place. Ultimately then we opened it for bid. We had 12 different companies place a bid. We put together a committee of myself, John Mueller, Brent Wilson from technology, Hussein, and Brady Watson from the business office, and we went through those bids. We narrowed it down to 3 vendors that we gave an opportunity to give a live demonstration of their product and to talk to us in person about that. One of those demonstrations happened at another school where we traveled to see it and work there, and the other 2 happened here in this admin building where they brought their system and set it up and showed us how it worked. Then we narrowed it down, the committee did, from those 3, and we chose Cloud Ingenuity. The product, they were all pretty similarly cost as far as the initial upfront turnkey price, between 200 and so thousand up to about 280. This one was square in the middle, but the cost over 10 years, this product was the clear winner by far. And so it had a good reputation. The people that we checked with that were using the system were happy with the system. And I leaned heavily on Brent because the technology pieces of this application. And this was the clear winner in our opinion, the committee's opinion. So what we've brought before you today is a request that we use. We'd be paying for this with a grant, so you know. This would all come out of a grant, 100% of it. They've assured us that if we approve this and move forward, that they will have this installed and ready for us to train staff when they return August 1st.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
Madam President,
Yes.
I move that the board approve Cloud Ingenuity as a provider for silent panic alarm system be installed throughout the GISD district.
Thank you, Mr. Wimberly. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Solana. Do we have any discussion? All right, let's go ahead and vote. Those in favor, please raise your hand. And it passes unanimously. Thank you very much, Mr. Clark.
Thank you.
Consider approval of a MOU with Forward Training Center. Ms. Tammy Clark.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm excited to bring this back to the table today, the MOU with the Forward Training Center. Last month, we discussed this, and there were some concerns that were raised. And so we have scaled it back with Forward Training Center and tried to address all of the concerns in the new MOU. And so we are going to shift to have it Powered for Life at GHS for SOAR students only, and at the GHS building proper during the school day, during their SOAR period, working with the counselors and trying to get all of those students at the same time. And then I've been working closely with Ms. Hayes. She is drafting up a different application, so if there are students at GHS who are interested in that but are not in SOAR, they can indicate that and we can pass their information on. And so students at GHS who indicate that that's something that they are interested in and they get their parent permission, just like the students in SOAR can go after school hours and participate that way. But the ones that are going to be in our school, the volunteers are going to go through Forward Training Center's background check. That is through public data, and they have made a different change so that they are going to do background checks yearly on all of their people, and anyone coming into our school is also going to go through our app garden check. And so I think that that addresses all the concerns that were raised last time. So it is recommended that the board approve the MOU with Forward Training Center for the provision of voluntary Powered for Life programming for our SOAR high school students at GHS and all of our other students at Forward Training Center.
Do I have a motion?
Madam President, I move that we approve the MOU with Forward Training Center.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion?
Yes, ma'am, I have a few comments.
Yes.
First, I want to make it very clear that I am in total agreement for providing this educational opportunity for all of the children. I think it sounds like a great program. And secondly, I'd like to thank Tammy Clark for working with me with changing up the MOU. I do have one question here, is the amendment and the modification, are there any plans currently to expand the MOU?
If we expand the MOU, we'll come back to the board. At this time, we're going to start small and have it just during the school day at GHS because the students can participate at Forward Training Center after school.
Okay, and again, I want to say I'm totally in agreement of this program. I think it's great. But I do think that maybe we need to take a moment and examine the relationship with Forward Training because of what's been exposed the last few weeks. A records check shows that there's been some issues at the training, and we were not made aware of that at the last board meeting. They've had an employee arrested for an active warrant, and there was a call for a wellness check with a man with a machete and a call with a suspicious vehicle, as well as it was mentioned earlier on an arrest of someone in their company stealing the political signs. I just think there needs to be a little bit of thinking about how much we want to be associated with them. Program is great, but I'm not sure about how we will be reacting with Forward Training.
So one of the employees was arrested, you said?
Yes.
What was the offense?
I've got it here. I will show it in the back room, but I'm not going to talk about it out front.
It's kind of hard to make a decision without all the information.
I've got it all right here. These are the police reports. This says that there was an employee that was arrested when they were called to the building.
Yeah. When you call the question.
Okay, so let's go ahead and vote. Those in favor, raise your hand. Okay, 5, 4, and those opposed, and 2 against. And those against will be Ms. Lowry and Ms. Graft. Okay, it passes. Going on to reports. Amy Whiteley, Community Eligibility Provision Child Nutrition Report.
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, so I'm going to talk about the community eligibility provision, also called CEP, and kind of a plan of what we would like for our operation to be for this coming school year. Before I do that, I wanted to just kind of acknowledge a couple great things that we've done this year. We just went to MegaCon, which is a child nutrition conference in Austin last week, and we were recognized for the it's called Best of the Bunch, and it's a program where you have to incorporate local Texas-grown products into your menu, and we had to do that 4 times throughout the month of October. We had to market it, and we also had to educate the kiddos about those products. So we were recognized for that. Just another thing that we are really proud of is our USDA foods. This past year, we made 98% of our USDA foods that were entitled to us into our menus, and we were one of the top 5 districts in Texas to get this recognition. We also received $285,000 in grants, and that has to be used towards our Texas products as well. One of our major products is our milk, so that is actually produced from the cows in the Stephenville and Dublin area for Oak Farms. And then we also introduced quite a few new vegetables and fruits this year, and the kids loved them. So we're really excited to see what next year brings. All right, so for community eligibility provision for the people in the audience that do not know what that is, it is a special nutrition program that allows a district to opt into, and it provides free breakfast and lunch for all students. And so for this year, that is something that we did opt into, and we tried it to see if it was going to work, and we did have a couple of challenges. So we'll go to the next slide. Thank you. So we did have an increase in our meals served, which was great. That's exactly what we wanted to do. So there was a total of 38% increase in breakfast participation and 27% increase in lunch participation. Then, our food and paper costs, of course, when you have an increase in participation, your food and your paper costs are going to go up. So our food costs went up about $434,000, and this is just from August to April. We haven't finished May yet, so I don't have those numbers. And then for paper, it was a little over $8,000. Then the next thing that was affected in our budget is the reduced and paid meal portion. This is when we have households fill out the free and reduced application, and the kiddos that qualify for reduced or paid meals, they have their portion that they pay, and we didn't see that because they're feeding kiddos for free this year. So that loss was about $427,000.
Let me just stop right here, because that's a big number, and I want to explain it. First of all, the child nutrition program carries an excessively large fund balance that's required to be spent, I guess, over a 3-year period. And so we were looking for ways to spend that money down. It's not something that's sustainable at this level whenever parents don't complete the free and reduced applications. And so there was that was one negative of the program, but the other big negative of the program is their effects that go across the district. So not only to child nutrition, but when families don't complete the free and reduced lunch forms, that affects our state comp ed and our title funding as well. And it also affects how kids are coded when they take standardized tests. So kids are categorized not only by ethnicity, but they're categorized by economic status as well. So now you have kids that their parents didn't fill out the form, and so we're not getting them in the correct category for STAR testing. We're not receiving the title funding. We're not receiving the state comp ed funding, and we're not receiving the child nutrition funding on top of it. And so there were a lot of really positive things to come out of this program. Certainly everyone loved the fact that we were able to provide free lunches after COVID. That was federally funded. And again, carrying such a large fund balance and knowing we had to spend it or lose it, it was a great program to opt into to help kids. But at this point, it's just not sustainable. And so I think Amy did a great job of putting this into numbers, but I also think it's important that everyone understands how important it is, not only to child nutrition, but across the district, that those free and reduced applications are filled out year to year.
Absolutely. All right.
So I take it next year, they're going to end up having to fill that out if they want the free and reduced lunch.
Yes, ma'am. So we're proposing that Emma Robertson be the only campus that continues CEP because they don't have pre-K across the district. They're at their own campus. And then all the other campuses, households will complete that application, which it comes out in July. Okay. Any questions?
I appreciate all your hard work into this program and tracking these numbers and having this information for us, and your efforts with the farm to table program, the Eat Fresh, and I see all those posts on Facebook and social media, and what y'all do with the kids is pretty amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on, Coach Lamont Moore, telling us about the Department of Athletics Annual Report.
Back again. Thank you. Just want to talk about my new team. Obviously myself, just getting hired a couple months ago, Director of Athletics. My assistant to the Director of Athletics, Amber Nickzad. She started full-time this week. She's doing amazing. Happy to have her. Jeremy McFerrin, one of the most successful coaches in the state of Texas, got him hired as our head basketball coach. We hired 2 athletic trainers, Tiffany Rodriguez and Dylan Bagwell, also doing an excellent job. They've been involved here recently in the spring, getting involved, and kids are excited, coaches are excited to have those 2, and they're hitting the floor running. So we're excited to have those. And we also approved the head soccer coach tonight, so got that filled, and my hiring is done as far as head coaches. So it's been a very successful spring as far as hiring and new team. Successes this year, Coach Dr. Glenn talked about a little bit. One of my main things I wanted to do was go cashless. So we got that running, up and running, going digital. Our athletic website is ongoing, it's set up and it's going, and it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be a one-stop shop. Excited about that. As far as athletics, we had, a lot of our teams got honored tonight. Tons of regional qualifiers with golf and track, and a state qualifier, which is not easy to do in the state of Texas. So that was a huge success for us. Playoffs, softball had an incredible year. So basketball, obviously we know from the winter sports, but spring-wise, softball had an incredible year. And obviously the track and golf, and then tennis had an incredible year as well. Swimming had 11 state qualifiers. That's considered winter, but we were excited about all those successes this year and look forward to next year as far as athletics is concerned. Some changes going on. Like I said, we talked about going digital. The website, granburypirates.com, go check it out. Hometown ticketing is our ticketing that we're going to go to as far as games. All digital, online, purchase your ticket. That will be launched here soon. Summer camps registration online also. That's through Rank 1. And Rank 1 was another digital program we started. And you can also do camps where it's really for the medical, it's for the trainers to upload physicals and medical forms without dealing with all the paperwork and having to file those away. It's all in the system. They can go to it real easy. The trainers love that, and it's great for everyone. It just makes it more efficient and accessible as well. Mascot Media was the program that we built the website off of. They're tied into hometown ticketing and Rank 1. Obviously, like I said, it's going to be a one-stop shop, so you better get to all 3 at one place. So excited about that. Needs, I went in order as far as these are concerned. Track and field complex is number 1 on my list.
I know we're talking about money a lot tonight, and athletics is always a hot topic when it comes to, complexes and the departments and facilities. Our track complex, I had an engineer come out and walk it with me. He deemed it unsafe. He said it's one of the worst he's ever seen. And I invite anybody on the board to come out, shoot me an email, we can walk the track and I can show you. I've been around 40 years in athletics, and I'm going to tell you, it's pretty bad. And we're walking our kids out there every week to practice on it. It's basically concrete, and like I said, it's easier for me to come here and talk to you and maybe show you some pictures, but if you come out and walk it and look at it, you'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. And like I said, I had an engineer come out, and he's been around a long time, and they work on tracks and fields and stadiums all over the state of Texas. And that's the first thing he said. He said, this is one of the worst I've seen. So that's a big one. So I hope we'll take that in consideration. And like I said, the invitation is open. Storage space is another big one. We have stuff that's stored under the bleachers and under the band bleachers, expensive equipment that needs to be put up. If we leave it out constantly day after day, we'll be buying it every year or every other year. And those are expensive items that storage space can take care of. Middle school weight rooms is another one. They're pretty outdated. They're well overdue. That's another big need. We want to take care of our middle schools and make sure they have the safety is number one, and also a good place for them to get better and grow and have some success in the middle school program. So the middle school weight rooms are definitely a high need as well. So, and that's the report of the athletic department. Looking forward to the future.
Thank you so much. And then, we are now to Mr. Whitefield. Why don't you go ahead and take care of the financial statements and then go right on into cash flow.
Thank you, Madam President. Board, in front of you do have the financial statements for the month ending April 30th, 2024. These are all the financial statements that are from September 1st, 2023 through April 30th, 2024. You can see on your financial statements the revenue collected to date equals 85.23% of the budgeted amount compared to 94.03% in 22-23. The expenditures today represent 61.91% of the budget as compared to 65.23% in 22 and 23. And I'll be glad to answer any questions about those if you have any. Okay, moving on to the cash flow and investment report. This is for April, ending April 30th, 2024. You can see that in April, we have the amount of $324,137.24 for the month of April, bringing our total for the year to $1,724,744.34. Last year at this time, we were at $1,425,449. And last April, we only garnished $306,914. And that is your cash flow and investment report for the month of April.
There are some things that are good about higher interest rates.
Some things, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you all very much. The time is now 7:38, and we are adjourned.
Thank you, Board.